There has been some huge news revolving horror games in the past couple of days, from sequel announcements to huge indie game releases to leaks involving some prominent actors in this weekly horror update. Amnesia: The Dark Descent is undoubtedly one of the greatest and most influential horror games of all time, with the most recent game in the series, Amnesia Rebirth, coming out in 2020. And just the other day, Frictional Games announced the next game in the series, Amnesia: The Bunker. This game is going to take place in a World War I bunker, and the trailer shows that it's going to take a bit of a different approach from the previous games in the series. In addition to being revealed as a semi-open world type game, the trailer also shows for the first time in the Amnesia universe us having a weapon, although our gun is shown to only have one bullet, so I imagine we have to use it wisely. Amnesia: The Bunker is set to release in March 2023. The next game I want to talk about is one of my personal favorites, Labyrinthine. As the name would suggest, Labyrinthine is a game where you have to navigate a maze while avoiding monsters and completing tasks. This game is absolutely terrifying, and it was just announced that the final chapter will be released by the end of the year. The devs said that they didn't want to share too much about the story as they want to keep it a surprise, but that there would be some story revamping going along with the update. I, for one, am extremely excited. GTFO fans are going to be extremely excited about the announcement of Rundown 2.0 Infection. For those of you who don't know, rundowns in GTFO are updates that add limited time events such as maps, scenarios, and different kinds of enemies into the game. Infection 2.0 is the latest of the added rundowns in the 2.0 variation that will eventually bring all past events back into the game permanently. This is going to give players of the game a ton of options to decide from when deciding what to play next. Although this may only be borderline horror, Hello Neighbor 2 was just released. The original Hello Neighbor definitely suffered from being in beta way too long, and all hype was basically just lost for the game. However, the second game in the series promises improvements such as multiple neighbors and AI improvements. It also seems from the trailer that this game might lean a bit more heavily into the horror element than past games. Most people know David Harbour for playing Hopper in Stranger Things. However, while doing an interview for the live-action version of Gran Turismo, he revealed that he and Jodie Connor, best known for her role in Killing Eve and Free Guy, are currently working on a horror game that will be released in 2023. Currently, there's no information out on what the horror game is going to be about, but oh, how much fun is it to speculate about a Stranger Things horror game? As unlikely as that probably is. While it's fun to talk about big studios, Hollywood, and high budgets, it's now time to look at some indie games. The first game we're going to look at is the surprisingly highly anticipated game Choo Charles, which has just been released today. Developed by 2-Star Games, Choo Charles went viral with its ridiculous premise at last year's Summer Game Fest. This game pits you up against a killer train-spider hybrid that is surprisingly scary. Next up, we have Little Devils by Jesus Ferniz. This is supposed to be a psychological horror game about a teacher that has to deal with the trauma of having lost her students in a fire. That fire being caused by one of her multiple personalities. Definitely a dark game and something you should check out. We also have The Simeon Institute by Prime Television. It's a first-person puzzle horror game about a closed-down museum where you have to solve puzzles while evading a variety of enemies. Will you escape or be caught? Next we have Enclosure by Niven Hedinger. This is a short game heavily inspired by PT, the well-known horror teaser, that uses a looping method of storytelling. Basically, you walk around the same area multiple times while things subtly change. This game does apparently have 2 endings. If you want to see any of these games, be sure to check out my stream this Sunday where I'll be playing all of them. One more game I'd quickly like to mention is The House of E. Now this game was a little long to have in a stream with multiple games, so there's a video about this game exclusively up on my channel right now for you guys to check out. In The House of E, you go searching for your missing sister in the house of a horror author who is also mysteriously gone missing. In the process, you find that the house is possessed by an evil entity known as E. You go around the house solving puzzles in a desperate attempt to save your sister. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out one of the 2 that are on the screen right now for you. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.